Be back in 30 seconds. It's good, Council of Comics. Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast, episode number 47. Today we are watching the greatest movie ever made by Dolph Lundgren.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
Council of Comics, welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast for this Sunday, August 6th, 2023. Before we get into everything, I just want to give a couple shout outs out there to everybody that's been watching. Please continue to watch. We have a special guest today, which we'll get into in a second, Mr. Toy Gaines himself. Welcome, Toy Gaines.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Along with our fellow counsel, Phil, Cliff, green shirt guy. How are you?
We're great. And Toy Gaines brought the sorceress.
Yes, who's like, yeah, we'll get to her in the movie.
Larry Jackson's in the house. What up, Larry? Oh, we got Larry's another monster in the toy game, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Larry's
Yes.
a monster. All right, so let me get into some stuff. First, we'd like to give shout outs to certain people. Of course, I always like to give a shout out to the Young at Heart Foundation.com. Let's see if that's it. There you go. .com. They are a organization that helps kiddies out in California. Some that have medical issues. They like to give them toys. They like to take them places. They like to do things with them. So shout out to Mike. Get at Mike at youngatheartfoundation.com. And then also, let me share this screen. Give a shout out to Hudson Valley CS. This is Hudson Valley
Community Services.
They'll help you with everything you need. Cliff, give a little 15 seconds.
Free HIV and STD testing. They have amazing food pantry that helps a lot of people. Most important meal is our big fundraiser every year for the food pantry. I shared the link in the chat. Please check it out.
Excellent. Go check out Hudson Valley communityservices.org. And then last of our shout outs is Alterniverse Comics in Hyde Park. If you're going to look for your brand new comics or toys or cards and anything, you need to go over to Alterniverse in Hyde Park. It's the shop where we do all our filming, where we get all our comics. Go out there. It's in Hyde Park, New York. The phone number 845-233-4235. Give a call over there to Anthony if you want to get some pull books going, or if you're looking for a specific item in the genre, and Anthony will help you. And you can also go to alterniverse.net. They have the website. All right, so it's Film and Box Office News. What up, Toy Gaines? This is Toy Gaines, everybody. He just went over 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations. We'll give you a nice little thing for that. It's a big, big move in the YouTube space. Toy Gaines is an excellent YouTube channel that goes over all types of toys, everything about them, how they pose, where they came from, everything. Angelo, tell us a little bit about Toy Gaines.
Well, Toy Gaines, I saw the landscape of YouTube toy reviewers, and I wanted to just do something different. I wanted to just have a conversation about toys, not necessarily the flaws and why you should buy it, just why any particular figure could be something worthy of your time. It's not always about articulation or how well it's sculpted. You can have fun with a toy like this little Motu toy that costs, under $20, just as much as you can a $150 toy. And so far, so good. People liked it. I just talk from, the heart and right off the top of my brain. Nothing is really scripted, and it's been going well.
Excellent. So get over on his channel, subscribe, like, Boom. I just hit him up literally like half hour before. I was like, yo, you're a huge Masters of the Universe. You want to be on today? We could use you.
I would have pulled the car over to talk Motu. I will.
Excellent. So let me just explain for Toy Games and everybody else out there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get into some film and box office news for a little bit. We're gonna check the box office, and then we're gonna go right into Masters of the Universe. I thought we'd make it a little extra longer review today since we got Toy Games up in here today.
I'm
All right.
I'm in.
All right. So let's go over some news. Let's see what's popping on the news. This is from Screen Rant. Of course, we don't sponsor us. We just use them because we use them, and we just show respect out there. Superman Legacy fan trailer brings a key MC. We don't want to see fan trailers, do we?
No, care less about fan trailers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem let the cast record together and improve the movie in a big way. Josh has seen this movie, and he said it was great.
I tried to go see it yesterday, but it didn't happen.
He says it's great.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's got that Spider-Verse type of animation to it. I hear it's pretty good. It did somewhat well at the box office.
Well,
go ahead.
When you say somewhat, according to one website, it did spectacular, and then the next day I saw Barbie still is beating it. So
it did spectacular for the type of movie it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Competing with Barbie.
Yeah, you're competing with Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
it's a moment in time.
This is the third week of Barbie, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Larry, wait, I gotta miss it. Larry, didn't know you were a huge Masters of the Universe fan. You didn't know that?
Who? You or me?
You. Larry says that to you.
Anything in the 80s. This is a Brave Star figure from the 80s. I'm a huge fan of this, and no one likes Brave Star.
Larry says box fan. What is that? What's a box fan?
That's
is that toy terminology?
Box fan, maybe inbox. I don't know.
Listen, we get comics, then we get you on with the He-Man, and get Larry on with the Transformers. It's a wrap. Didn't care for it, but I love the music and Ice Cube.
Oh, in the TMT movie.
Yeah. One quick thing. I saw Transformers yesterday.
Which one? The new one?
The new one.
Yeah, I watched the other day with my sons.
Loved it.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Okay. Oh my goodness, the way they used the 90s rap music throughout the film.
I did enjoy that. I'll give you
that.
I
was like, this is really
kind of vanilla, to be honest with you.
It felt like it was redoing something. You know, that was already been done because they had the whole Unicron thing. And then when Unicron was coming to get Earth, I was like, didn't we see this in a couple movies ago when Unicron was trying to do that before? But I love the way they ended it with the little G.I. Joe spoiler, G.I. Joe tag at the end of it.
Whoa.
It's been like months, so but do you know about that, Toy Games?
No, please. I need to tell me now.
So the end of the movie, the hero of the human of the Transformers guy, he's always looking for a job. So he goes for a job interview, and in the interview it comes to find out that it's the guy that represents G.I. Joe is interviewing him.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I see you had fun in Peru, and he's like, I didn't tell you anything about Peru. And he basically is like, listen, I'm part of an organization. We're at war.
An elite organization.
An elite organization. We're in a war right now. We could use your help and the big guys' help. And they're like, and he's like, oh. And then he gives him a card, and then he hits this button, and the door opens, and I guess it's the pit. Like he goes in, and it's like this huge artillery thing, and he goes like, you think about it, and he just presses the button, and the elevator goes down, and he flips the card, and it says G.I. Joe on it.
Wow.
So
I mean, if I could just briefly, if they just nail the uniforms that they wore in the cartoon and a few of the vehicles, that's all we need. That's all we need.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Don't overthink it.
Yes. The only thing I am a little concerned with is that the G.I. Joe logo looked like the logo from the previous movies.
The eagle head thing, right?
Yeah, from the movies.
So it's funny you say that. In the toys, now the G.I. Joe classified line has shifted real closely to just remaking 80s figures, but in a 6-inch scale. Everything looks real retro. but the packaging on certain things still maintains that eagle. They don't want to give that up for some reason. So,
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
probably paid it through the nose for it, and they don't want to
Yeah.
have to then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not a fan of that design, but what are you going to
I
do?
was just worried that they might try to link it with the Rock movie,
Oh, Rock.
and you know what I mean. And I'm like, let's
That
hope
movie-
that doesn't happen.
You don't think The Rock's not beating down their doors because the last couple projects of his.
I don't mind if he plays Roadblock again, but have him in the camouflage shirt with the orange pants and a helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, Larry did tell me I would love Transformers.
It was. I heard it was.
He did
fun.
tell you.
It's good. It's good. As far as the G.I. Joe, like Retaliation, G.I. Joe Retaliation, somebody said it best. They were like, bro, it's just a movie of toys. Like
Yeah.
your toys coming to life. He's like, don't take anything more out of it, but then your toys coming to life. And I thought about it and I was like, he's right. That
Yeah.
movie was filled with
And
moments about the toys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, sure. Listen, I mean, we know, like, let's be honest. You got to walk a fine line with that, or else you end up with Batman and Robin.
Listen, the thing that
Right?
saved that movie for me was the silent scene from the comics with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Yes, when they
The
were
mountain-
on, and everybody loved because they stole it from took it from the comic, rather. The scene where they're on the mountainside,
Yeah.
that was right from the comics as well. But wasn't for me. It wasn't enough. It felt like a military movie.
And then Snake Eyes. Oh my God, what'd you think of Snake
Shouldn't
Eyes?
it also feel like that too for a movie?
Pardon?
Shouldn't it feel a little bit like a military movie for G.I. Joe?
Of
Yeah,
course,
exactly, yeah.
but has to be like hammed up times 10 and campy, not
Yeah.
like
The thing that made us love it was
Listen.
what? Yo, Joe.
I'm saying it is really difficult to produce a movie for a general audience
I
and
know.
check all your boxes. Whoever was in charge of Snake Eyes for this movie clearly was like Snake Eyes is gonna be this way. Do your crap over
New
there.
one, right?
This is gonna be
Oh
a
my
new one.
God,
This
they
is gonna be Snake Eyes.
They murdered him.
Can I-
I was
can
like,
I
what are
tell-
they doing here?
Can I tell a funny story about one of my favorite episodes of G.I. Joe that has it's supposed to be for kids, G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah.
Usually.
This episode, Zartan, the master of disguise, pretends to be like an insurance agent, and he convinces Dusty that he's got to sell like his grandmother's house. It's like, that was for kids. So don't tell me that you can't write things for adults and kids in the movie too. So that cartoon did a lot. It was ahead of its time.
Well, the thing you have to also incorporate in the movies that I think they not got away from, but that Cobra is this multinational corporation that's not one part of the country, it's not one part of the world, it's just wherever.
Sure.
And they're trying to, like, at least in the last movies, it felt like they were trying to link it to, well, it's not the Middle East or it's not Europe,
Yes.
but it kind of is.
Yes.
No, it's supposed to be wherever. And
Yeah.
G.I. Joe is supposed to be very similar, but the good guys of that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I thought the first one wasn't that bad.
Because me neither, and it kind of followed that original Mass Device story.
Yeah.
I
and
like.
I like the reveal of Cobra Commander at the
Yeah.
end.
I
I was
did
like,
too.
this wasn't that bad. You know what I mean?
Firefly was badass.
Larry says the Rock movie was the only somewhat decent other franchise, and forget about Snake Eyes. Listen, and he says it again, don't mention Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, they destroyed. This is what got me sad, because they said that they had talked to Larry Hama about this before the movie. Larry Hama has said, oh, I put my stamp of approval on this, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched the movie and I was like, this is not this. What is this?
Yeah.
Well,
This
he
is
probably
Snake Eyes.
put a stamp of approval on the script, and then they didn't follow the script.
Like, the whole point of Snake Eyes is that
Or he put his stamp of approval on that check he cashed. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And I still love Larry Hama. I still love
Larry
Larry
Hama.
Hama.
Of course, he's great.
He's not a young guy, so he's probably like,
Yeah.
sure, G.I. Joe movie, let's do it.
But it's that thing of movies like, oh, we can't burn his face because how's the actor gonna shine in the movie?
Yeah.
I'm like, but that's the point of the
Who cares?
character.
Right.
Yeah.
Get a stunt man. Don't hire
Yeah,
that.
the freaking deepness of the fact that he can't speak, he can't
Sure.
do anything, but still does these things that are great. Like almost like Snake Eyes was like a superhero to me.
Well,
And he
and
was-
Yeah.
we're also in. I mean, maybe we're getting spoiled too because we're in an era now where characters don't have to talk because they found other ways to show on screen what they're saying, like Echo,
Sure.
right? You could do that now with Snake Eyes. You could have him using, doing whatever, and then just put subtitles. You don't need to.
Yeah, I thought Storm Shadow was great in that movie though.
Yeah.
In the Snake Eyes movie, I thought he was great.
He was actually good in all of them. Snake Storm Shadow.
Yeah, I love the original one though.
Yeah. Yep.
In the first two movies, he's dope.
Yep.
Where we at here? All right, let's do a couple more news things and get into the box office.
I take exception to a little bit to Broderick's statement here, because to me, Lady Hawk is also his legacy, and that doesn't die.
But,
and that's
War
a movie
Games.
to review.
War Games, right?
War Games as well.
Yeah, he's
what Broderick movies?
Yeah.
Filler feeler is that.
I'm gonna hit you in the face. Biloxi Blues.
I've never seen
that. Classic Broderick.
Mm-hmm.
He's classic movie right there.
Yeah.
Insidious: The Red Door beats Megan and Scream to become biggest horror movie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. David Ayer explains Suicide Squad's credit scene, but it's still confusing. Why are we still on this? Why are we still talking about this? Like,
because they're gonna
every time we're trying to get like come on, give us fans a time to get this stuff out of our heads so we can start fresh when Superman Legacy comes. Like, Blue Beetle better be bananas, and then Aquaman better do something, man. It better do something, because those are the two movies that are left in this Snyderverse type thing.
They won't. I'll tell you right now, they're not going to.
And listen, I'm not feeling good about Superman Legacy.
If the Flash didn't make a bunch of money with all the hoopla and all the press they put behind it, those two are going to tank.
I'm not holding
Flash.
You know I love. Listen, if here's my rule for all these movies. Okay, if I'm in the theater and I'm having fun, and I leave the theater wanting to buy a toy from the movie, or I have a good feeling, I don't. All the other stuff I don't care about. When I left G.I. Joe, when I left the last Star Wars movie, I had like a sinking feeling. Like, what did I just see? So the Flash is a mess, but I had so much fun, I didn't care.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you guys are comic experts.
Yeah, so like it kind of hit us hard.
You're gonna dissect every little detail. I'm a expert. So when I see something that doesn't mimic the toy, I get my feelings hurt. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny. Like, I left the theater and I'm looking at my friend and I'm like, I thought the movie was fun. He's like, I have thoughts, and he's like a massive Flash fan. So when we were talking about it. When he was talking, we were talking about it in the barbershop. He ripped it to shreds.
I'm sure. If I was a Flash fan,
And he's like, I want good, wholesome, boring ass Barry and his robes. What the heck was this?
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. Barbie crossed $1 billion.
Wow.
I wondered if it was going to make it by the time we did the show tonight. So
wow.
Yep.
Like 4 hours ago, I guess it did it.
Now,
if I had the story ready.
Here comes the Barbie cinematic universe. Are you ready?
No.
No, you guys mentioned it on a show a week or two ago. You listed all the movies now they want to make, and Motu was one of them. But, I mean, we're going to get like an Uno movie, a Monopoly Man movie. This could be kind of weird,
This is big for you,
That's
though,
my
right?
point.
It's big for me.
What do you do any like
Yahtzee
classic Barbie toys or anything like that?
Well, if I have a toy in my repertoire, like this Brave Star, I'm going to talk about because it was such a quirky idea. So I'll talk about him. But as far as like, they made a Battleship movie. I don't know if I'd ever cover like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't collect Barbie, so for me to talk about the movie, and I haven't seen it yet. But it's kind of a Pandora's box situation because this made so much money. are we gonna see like a Rainbow Bright movie? Are we gonna see a new Gem and the Holograms movie done right? It's really
Oh my God, I would love a proper Gem and the Holograms
Yeah.
movie.
I watched a little documentary about how they were battling. Like Gem came out, and then Barbie's answer was Barbie and the Rockers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Barbie and the Rockers. Yep.
Yeah. I
Instantly.
was like,
It
oh,
failed.
look at that little battle right there.
Yeah, I
But the
think
next
do
one
that.
from this universe is Hot Wheels.
Oh.
Hot Wheels
Wheels.
with what's his face? I keep
Vin
forgetting his
Diesel.
name. The Joey Masters, Hungry Hungry Hippos movie starring.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Shut up, Joey. I'm in the running for one of those hippos.
Stop it, Joey. Stop it.
Listen, Hollywood, they like to copycat things, so it is going to open Pandora's box,
Yeah,
which might be fun.
yeah. We'll
It's gonna be
see.
a Light Bright movie. Connect.
Yeah, Light Bright.
Well, you know what's
They
funny?
write the
It's like-
movie.
In a normal breadth of space, all of that will be in the works right now. But because of this massive strike, it's all just sitting on the pile.
Sure.
Like, oh man, when this strike is over,
I
Yeah,
can't wait to write the Late Bright movie.
yeah, the Uno horror movie. Wait till you draw 4. You know, like
They're making a Barney and the Dinosaur movie too.
Barbie and the dinosaur.
Barbie or Barney the Dinosaur.
oh, he's
Oh
they
my
want to make
God.
a movie about him. Yeah,
Witness the origin of Barbie.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, Barney will probably be like sitting
It'll
alone
be
with the dinosaur
it'll be a
friends. He's like,
CGI
"Well,
movie.
love us."
It'll be like a Pixar movie. Watch.
Nah, he'd
Barney
be-
and his little friends.
No, Barney is first to be there in costume, sad because they're like, why don't the children visit us anymore? Why don't they love us anymore? You know, and like, and
Or
we'll
all,
start
or all
there.
the kids have grown up and have drug and alcohol problems.
Yeah, like
and kids of their own who basically spit in their face.
Yes.
So,
the
like,
Blue
you know-
Clues guy.
Oh, Blue's
Like,
Clues.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
doing well.
you know
though.
about that? The guy Steve is like a alcoholic, depressed lunatic or something.
But they had a
is
little.
that the
They
first
had
one?
all the Steves on there. They had like a little multiverse.
They're
of Steves.
not. They're not all Steves. They're all related.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So they just passed this
Jeez,
dog
guys.
around. That's even more messed up.
All right, let's bring up this
That
box
dog
office.
is immortal. Okay.
Box office news.
Get the hell out of here with Meg.
Number 2.
Barbie,
Get out
number
of here
1.
with Meg too.
All right, so it should say 1 million, or when we click
One
that.
bit.
yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Barbie's at 1.03.
Wow.
$1 billion
You know-
movie.
You know Margot Robbie is sitting at home counting the money,
Wow.
being like, I
Warner
told.
Brothers, like,
He's like, I'm
Warner
back,
Brothers,
baby.
is getting a good win because Flash really hurt your.
Oh yeah, they
right?
made up for it with Barbie.
Yeah.
Her and Greta Gerwig are gonna just, they just surfing the airwaves, being like, we saved your asses.
Well, so if this is the case, right, and Warner Brothers owns this, and how long until we see this in the DCU?
What?
No,
Barbie?
I don't see.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Hey, I'm putting my hand up and saying
They haven't reached that point yet.
Watch.
They haven't reached that. Maybe in the comics, maybe a toy
They've already
crossover,
done it
but
with,
not
Looney Tunes
movie
and stuff.
wise. I don't.
There's lots of toy
Yeah.
crossovers.
How
around.
did the
Yeah.
D&D movie do? Do you remember?
Not
Yeah,
well
decent.
enough,
Great.
but it's very well received.
It's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
movie. I liked it.
That's a Hasbro
Jonathan!
Hasbro
That's a
property.
Hasbro original, yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a big deal for them.
Yes.
So Meg 2 coming in with 30 million.
That's wild to me right there.
It looks fun.
What's
it's a
his
summer.
face?
Yeah.
Yeah, Statham is doing his little thing with these Megs. Like he's probably already starting Meg 3 already.
Is
It's just
Dwight
cra-
Schrute in it, or did he die? in
It's
the
crazy
first
to
one?
me that made more money than Turtles, but whatever.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more, and it's a real
Um,
movie, and Turtles is animated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still,
Oppenheimer came in with 28 million. And then Turtles is right under it with 28 million.
where's Oppenheimer total worldwide?
552.
Still.
Half a bill. This is good. This is good for Nolan. This is great.
Oh, absolutely.
That's great for Nolan.
Not that anybody forgot about it.
Especially
but
going against Barbie. Like But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they made 28 million, and worldwide they made about 50 million. We have to see what it's going to be like for them in the long. Will it be able to sustain week to week? Usually,
Turtles?
if they're good movies,
I
they
think
sustain-
it's
they'll-
gonna. I think it'll do all right. That's my call.
I hear it's
See what
really
else-
good. Haunted Mansion came in at number 5,
Ugh.
8 million, down
Should've been
62%. That's a bomb. Like, why wouldn't you release this in Hollywood? We talked about in Hollywood in Halloween. We talked
Yeah.
about it last week. We're like, big mistake.
In the lead,
Sound of
I
Freedom.
love-
So it could drop on
Go ahead,
Disney
Togi.
Plus around Halloween. That's why.
Yeah.
I love that actor who's the lead in that movie, but I don't know if he is a lead yet. You know what I mean? To carry a movie.
Mhm.
He's great in everything he's in, but I don't know if he's a lead yet, and that was a big gamble.
I have a feeling that. Oh, I'm sorry. What you went on to something else. This. I'm like, my head was still stuck. My head was still stuck in Haunted Mansion.
Go
I,
ahead.
say, I think Turtles gonna do all right. I looked at what's getting released in the next couple of weeks, and it's nothing that crazy that should compete with it. I mean, you got Blue Beetle, but other than that and the that the last Voyage of the Demeter, the Dracula movie. But I
Dracula
don't even know
movie,
if that's
yeah.
gonna pull money because families aren't going to see that.
Yeah. Sound of Freedom. Still making money. It's made another 7 million. It's only dropped 45%. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Small drop. 40%.
Click on that. Let's see how it's
But,
doing. Let's see if Tom
this
Cruise
is not
tries.
good for Mr. Tom Cruise. He's at half a bill.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Can I? When we go back, I just noticed something. When we go back, go ahead.
Sorry, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
So you can look at how many theaters that they took stuff out of. If you're a theater, why the fuck are you taking Barbie out right now? There's 159 theaters that are no longer playing Barbie.
Oh, those are like, because if you have Barbie in like 4 different theaters. at the-
Yeah, I
okay,
think those
so
are
they
the
counted
big
that.
Yeah.
screens. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Regal will show
Yeah.
it in like 4 different theater
Right,
rooms.
so now
where,
they're showing it in 3 instead of okay.
Yeah.
And then that
So I'm
adds
like,
up after a while.
The movie's just raking money. Why would you?
So they can
Yeah.
put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Meg in.
And they probably
Yeah.
have some thing in their contract that when they open a movie, it has to be in so many or something like that too.
I think Disney definitely does have things like that in their contract that you
Oh, I
got to
know.
open it into like the biggest room. It's crazy.
Well, Star Wars movies are like that. It has to be in the biggest theater. It has to be THX certified. A bunch of different things,
Mhm.
and it has to be in those biggest theaters for a certain number of weeks before they can start pulling it. No matter how much
Yeah.
money.
Wow.
Talk to Me came in at number 8, brought in 6 million. Indiana Jones is still in the top 10. Indy still holding it out there.
What's that up to now? Because that's it's probably like
$170 looks like.
yeah.
That's only domestic.
Is it?
Um,
Oh, okay.
368.
Let
great.
me go over real quick. Hold on.
Considering
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great,
it's not terrible.
but it's not great.
If I could interject real quick, now Indiana Jones, I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know if this is coming up. This figure, one of the best of the year, the Indiana Jones figure. This is from Raiders, and
Give them a
it's
full screen there, Sam. I want to see this figure.
All right.
perfect. This is a Raiders of the Lost Ark version,
Nice.
and it
Nice.
comes with. It is perfect, and it's $25, 6 inches. They did make the version from the current film, but I don't want to. I don't need an old man Indiana Jones in my
The
collection.
sculpt on that face is amazing.
It's perfect. Yeah, they do something called like photorealism now, Hasbro, and it's
Mm.
it's a great figure. One of my favorite of the year.
All right. Indy. All right, let's see. I think there's a couple more on the top 10, and then we'll get Elemental, Made a Mill, and Insidious. That's your top 11, top 10. Barbie rocking it out again. Should probably continue to rock out. What comes out next week? That's big. Anything?
The last words of the Demeter.
Oh, Barbie's gonna be number one again. I'll call it.
Oh yeah, it'll beat that.
I'll call it right now. Barbie will be number
and
one.
That's the only thing next week.
And I'll actually predict that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will jump up to number 2.
I think
When is Blue Beetle?
Blue Beetle's in 2 weeks. 18.
2 weeks.
I see. No, I see. Number 2 will be Last Voyage of the Demeter. That Dracula movie's next week.
Oh, you think it's gonna make that much?
I think it's gonna be number 2. Like, yeah, I think it's gonna be.
Very, 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 very interesting. All right, so that's the box office for today. Now we're gonna jump right into what everybody loves about our show. Your homework council was to watch the greatest movie ever made by Dolph Lundgren, The Masters of what? The Masters
universe.
of the Universe.
I thought we were supposed to watch Rocky 4.
What?
Yeah, same thing.
So, Masters of the Universe came out in 1987. It was directed by Gary Goddard. It starred Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella, who was a masterful performance as Skeletor. Masterful performance. And it kind of...
Okay,
Well,
whoa.
No, wait.
Wait,
You already
do
did-
not
no,
gloss
I
over.
had
Do
to
not
set the
gloss
scene.
over Meg Foster.
Great. Yeah.
Yes,
Evil Lynn.
It was phenomenal as Evil Lynn as well. She was.
Thank you.
She was. So this movie came on like the heels of like Master of the Universe had been out for like a couple years already. It was really, really popular, and they needed to push a movie.
Yeah.
And I remember. Yeah, how I remember this is that my parents used to sometimes send me to Puerto Rico for the whole summer, right? and it was like at that time in Puerto Rico, my grandparents had cable. So when you turn on the TV over there, you only saw like a couple channels. But when I came back after the month or so, my dad was like, "So you want to go see Masters of the Universe?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he showed me the commercial. I was like, "Oh, yes, we must go see. We must go see." And I remember the beginning, and when I watched the movie again yesterday, the beginning was great.
Yeah. Well, everybody says this.
With the voiceover, and then they show Castle Grayskull.
I mean, are we just gonna gloss over the graphics with the
the
lettering?
Superman. I know the Superman intro.
Not even Superman. I'm talking this rainbowy crap. I mean, it was not great.
At that
did
time,
not age well.
It matched.
That was state of the art for that
Yeah,
year.
because you know
It
what? That
was.
matched the cartoon.
That's my one note from this movie is it had decent effects. I wouldn't call them special.
Okay.
I like
Of course.
that one right there, like the rotoscoped whip, like it was pretty dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say again, we got to keep it in perspective. This was 87?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm talking. I'm biased, obviously. Star Wars came out before this, and the effects are still better than this.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Canon Films only. No, of course, but like, look, Canon Films was doing this on a shoestring budget, which
Yes.
we
That's fair. That's
could
fair.
very much empathize with.
The-
And go
ahead.
for it, Gaines.
Oh well, this movie pretty much bankrupt Canon Films.
Is that right?
It did. They got the rights to Superman 4, and that didn't make that much money, and they put a lot of money into that, and they did their like karate movies like Missing in Action and Invasion USA, and this license came up, and they put all their money into it, and the rest is kind of it didn't do well, and we'll get to that in a few. But they tried with this. Canon put a lot of money into it. They didn't have enough, and I think they put so much money into the way certain characters looked. And what people hate is when it leaves Eternia and goes to like Earth, and that's where all the budget went into those special effects that weren't so special, and that's why it had to be in Earth, and that's the parts that kind of don't work back then. I think now they work, but as a kid seeing it, we were kind of disappointed.
Yeah, 'cause Earth wasn't never really part. The only time Earth was part of the story is later on in the cartoon where they revealed that the mother was from Earth.
I don't, I've watched this movie. I own the Blu-ray. I've watched documentaries on it, and everyone that was involved loves the characters they played, and they had a good experience. Even Skeletor by LANGELLA. He said even though putting on all that makeup was a pain in the ass, he adores that film, and his grandkids love seeing him as Skeletor.
He owns that mask. It's in his home.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, and you could tell they had fun. It's very campy. The thing that hurts it for me rewatching it as an adult is a few things. No vehicles from the cartoon. No Thundercat. No
Battlecat.
No Battlecat. Battlecat and Orko kind of make the cartoon. They push the story along with humor. And then in this movie, they had the little ugly dude who looks like a
Gwildor.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Gwildor drinking gravy is a whole mood for me, and I'm never letting it go.
It's more horror, that character, than like charm.
Yeah.
Why exactly?
You're mad because he
did,
blew
Tila have a big
Eargo out
deal?
on Tila.
Why exactly did Tila have a problem eating ribs?
Because they don't eat meat on Eternia.
Huh?
They don't eat their version of Eternia. They don't eat meat.
Yeah, they eat like fruit. They eat like kings. Like, well,
I mean, I guess, but
but what's his face? Man at Arms had to have eaten meat at some point because he knew exactly what it was when he was.
and he
eating
was
it.
fine with it too. He's like, "Can I take some of this with me?" Almost.
and Man at Arms looked cool. He looked good. I think the costume
I thought that was
design
good. Yeah.
is really good. Beastman looked cool. Tila was, kind of weird, but they looked good. He-Man looked good. Dolph Lundgren had the physique. There's no Prince Adam angle, and that's fine because most kids didn't like Prince Adam because he was, girly.
Why did he have a cape on? I couldn't figure that out.
I don't know. They went for this more regal look. I didn't figure that out either.
Yeah.
But man,
Superman also wears a cape. That's I think why.
Yeah, probably.
if somehow Battlecat was in it, it just would have really elevated it to
Listen, I thought they should have just stayed in Eternia.
I don't think
I
they had the
think-
budget
yeah.
though, Sam.
Well, this was you got to remember, this is the '80s, and the
Yeah.
way to make things real back then was you got to at some point it has to be on Earth.
Yeah.
You got to show it on Earth.
No.
Otherwise, it's just some random nonsense.
Now, Green Shirt Guy. Now the Earth angle. There wasn't a ton of fish out of water things when characters from other planets come to Earth. They always have that angle. It always works. Maybe
Yes.
they didn't really play that at all. Not enough. I think maybe if they did that, it would have worked. They're just kind of like they're on Earth and they're fighting in like a stock room of like a mall, and then
What got me in that scene is she's running away from the bad guys and
Mhm.
runs into his arms.
Mhm.
How does she know he's not a bad guy? He's some
Right.
random
Well,
dude.
That's
But,
true.
okay, and then immediately says, he's like, it's okay, you're safe. I'll protect you. Da, 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 da. And then proceeds to go in this huge battle. And then, like, what? Why am I safe? If I just
Well,
it just didn't.
yeah.
And
Well,
then,
because
and then-
he had like a nice blonde haircut and he's jacked.
and then
so,
they
you
had
know.
the conversation about where the key is. Oh,
Yes.
my boyfriend has it. Oh, he's in horrible, horrible danger. Let's go find him.
Yeah.
You just told me I was safe. Why am I following you?
Yeah, that and that as well. Like in the lore of Motu, you need the two swords to make the power sword, and then that unlocks Castle Grayskull. But in this movie, they use like an organ that makes people.
Yeah, that's the thing. The sword is huge in
Yeah.
Motu.
Yeah, but
It's huge.
this is
It's
like
all
a key.
about the sword.
It's like the main thing. Like,
Yeah, Skeletor doesn't want that. He wants this organ that puts like a special effect in the air.
yeah.
And even-
Which
Well, look, the organ is a MacGuffin, and it works
is
as
a
a
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin because Gwildor even tries to free the sorceress with it because it can find a tune to teleport between any two spaces.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it makes a good MacGuffin. That actually didn't bother me
Yeah, yeah.
at all. Like, it didn't even phase me. Like, I was more phased by the lack of Battlecat.
Yeah, I agree.
The things
How
that
could they have
took me
done it
out
though?
No, I don't think they could have done it well.
is
yeah,
that
no.
you're right. The sword is a big deal. And why was Skeletor's sword not the same at the end? So you could at least tease that if you're going to make a
Sure.
second one.
You're right.
Because he was in
And-
God mode.
And He-Man shows up on Earth with this sword, but then proceeds to use a gun to fight everybody. Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
that threw me off too, and I was just like, He-Man doesn't use guns.
Yeah, He-Man doesn't use a gun. You know, that's not his bag. Yeah, usually the villains in Man Alone.
And it was like, he's supposed to be the most powerful man in the universe.
Right.
And he's like struggling to throw dudes and stuff. And I'm like, he should just be like, like,
Yeah. I mean,
But
the whole
he's
movie,
not.
you're waiting for the "I have the power," which you get right at the end.
Right at the end.
Oh.
Like in the comic or in the TV show, you saw multiple times. So
Yeah, but
you know,
he already has the power though. He's already jacked.
yeah.
yeah.
And not that Prince Adam was jacked too though, but
He should, when he said, I'll have the power, all his scars and everything should have came off.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like he should have been like rejuvenated. You know what I mean? Like, boom.
Lightning should have struck the sword.
Yeah, like boom, boom. Because that, like Larry said in the comics, let this be our final battle.
Yep.
Classic. When I was in, it's like, yes, let this be our final battle. And they go, that was one of my greatest moments in genre cinema.
yeah.
Of all.
And this detective guy, what a waste!
Love it.
Why?
Lubbock is
The whole time I'm
classic.
going. Anytime
He-
Marty McFly's.
Oh, he's you know who he is? He's the principal from back.
yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the whole time I'm thinking, didn't this guy ever have hair?
I enjoyed this guy in this movie though.
Yeah.
I thought he fit. I was like, if you're
He-
gonna go to Earth, this guy fits.
He reminded me of Bill Barr, like Bill Barr today, like would be that guy. If they remade this movie, that would be Bill Barr's Barr.
And then look at remember his choice at the end. He's like, "Why am I gonna go back home
Right.
when I got all this here?"
He made a great choice. I'm not gonna. I can't fault him.
Yeah.
He was like, "Did you see that rat hole we came from?" No.
Right. You
Nobody
see this
takes
woman
pot
on
shots
my
in
arm?
Lubbock.
That Barr was cool. He has
So-
a shotgun.
So, Toy Games, you've seen lots of documentaries on this film, as have I. You know this was originally, before Mattel got involved, this was pitched as a New Gods story.
Right.
Is that right?
And those discs, the disc on like He-Man's, those discs that they're floating around on is like one of the remnants of
Right.
like developing this for Fourth World New Gods Dark Side.
Right.
Really?
And-
I didn't know that.
And those troopers that are like stormtroopers but in black.
Yeah.
I forget where that design came from. That's from something else as well. They did look cool though, but they're not from Masters of the Universe.
Not
at
at
all.
all.
No.
Well,
They're
and that
cool,
was
though.
the other thing that kind of took me out of it is you're sending your 4 best mercenaries with a group of random dudes.
Yeah.
Why do you need these guys if you're sending these 4?
Right.
Remember, he wanted to send enough to smoke it out, right?
Right,
but
but you're hand picking these 4. Then just hand pick 4 more.
yeah.
Right.
Budget.
They probably blew their wad on getting the license. They had some good actors and actresses in this movie.
And they spent a small fortune just building the set for Castle Grayskull.
Absolutely, that throne room looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All
That was
the
excellent.
all the characters look good. Dolph Lundgren is coming off Rocky IV, so he probably was asked for a bundle of money.
Mhm.
When you spend so much in budget here, you're not going to be able to use it there. And
Actually, wasn't there like a whole thing where he never even got paid in full?
probably. I'm sure. And I think Stallone like messed with him, like, dude, you're not an actor. How are you going to say your lines? And I think he did well, though. Well enough.
How
He
close
definitely
was
did well
this movie to Flash Gordon?
Very.
You know-
I thought that with this and Flash Gordon.
I like that
very
better than
close.
Flash Gordon.
Well, no, I'm just saying the stuff on the bikes was very Flash Gordon. I'm like, if
Yes.
they go see that and go, oh, we got to put that in our movie.
Well, a lot of
Yeah.
things are stolen from Flash Gordon. I think Star Wars.
Star Wars.
They definitely
yeah.
stole Skeletor's death from Star Wars.
Yeah, but Flash
That's
Gordon.
only the Emperor died.
Yeah.
They had to come up with that. They had no more budget left for the final battle. All that lighting, Skeletor's death, all of
They
that
didn't
was
even have
we
money
had
for
no more
lights.
money.
They filmed that last scene. The lights went out. Oh, I got no money for lights.
I tell you what the movie does well though. The pacing is good.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You're never bored to tears.
Nope.
It keeps moving. Something always happening. So I'll give it. It's
I
not like.
still enjoy Courtney Cox.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Love
absolutely.
Courtney Cox.
Who
Is
doesn't?
that pre-Bruce Springsteen video, Courtney
I
Cox?
think that's a good
Yeah.
question. I think it's.
No, I think this is after.
It is. I think
Yeah.
it is after too.
I think.
But
I think
yeah,
it's
how
after.
about her boyfriend is Lieutenant Paris from Star Trek Voyager?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And how about we
yeah.
talked about this before, Cliff, that the sorceress is her mother and Friends.
Yes, the sorceress is her mom on Friends.
Holy moly, that's funny.
The Easter eggs. Larry
And don't
says
forget,
he
don't
was
forget,
the highlight
if
of
you
the
wanna-
movie. He's talking
Skeletor
about
was.
Skeletor, yeah.
Yo,
Oh,
if we want to
Skeletor.
go one more, how about there's the whole episode about dressing up a slave Leia for your boyfriend, and Chandler gets it in Ross's head that the fantasy is ruined the minute you picture your mom in
That's
that
right.
outfit. And at the end of the episode, his mom, her sorceress, comes out in the
That's right.
slave bikini.
That's
Are you?
right.
I'm gonna
episode
watch
last
that
week, I
after the
think.
show.
You got to just be like, what is this? You
I
do
gotta
get to
watch
see
that.
Jennifer Aniston in the outfit for a minute, so you'll enjoy that.
Okay, I might have to leave now.
He-Man. Let's talk Dolph Lundgren a little bit.
Okay.
I thought he looked great as He-Man.
Me too.
He did.
I thought what they did with him as He-Man was
Mediocre.
horrible. Mediocre,
thought-
you could say. But I was like, yo, he looks like He-Man.
Yeah,
Well, it must have done something right because Mattel re-released a figure from this movie and it sold out immediately. So they had to have done something right.
Only the He-Man figure from this movie.
Yeah, he sold out. So did Skeletor. That's
Wow,
Oh,
they
so,
all-
wait, Skeletor was the only one with a deep design that
Yeah.
I remember no one wanted the toys. Remember when Ames was still open,
I did.
right?
Yeah.
The toy department, the Masters of the Universe movie figures were just
87
Damn.
though. Also, 87 is almost near the tail end of Masters and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe kind of started to surpass Masters.
Masters particularly was fading at this time, and the movie did come out too late, you know.
Or- yes.
And apparently, much to my personal chagrin, the release of She-Ra actually was hurting the toy sales of He-Man.
That's the rumor. I don't. There's two schools of thought of the toy sales. One was She-Ra made it so boys didn't think it was cool anymore. But I think the real reason was they stopped production of Skeletor and He-Man. So say when you were 6, you were still playing with Play-Doh, and now you're 9 and you're ready to get into He-Man, and now He-Man and Skeletor aren't on the shelf, and
Yeah.
it's just like Merman and Beastman. Who the heck are they
Yeah.
going to fight? And that was a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lundgren looked great. I think his English was fine. I think if anything with his lines, the cadence of his voice was off. It
Okay.
almost it sounded like he was reading lines instead of just talking.
Sure. Well, Stallone said
Other
he's
than
been-
that, I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually didn't even hate his acting.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't
like
That's what
when
I'm saying. I thought he was fine.
when he pulls Gwildor out of the swamp, he genuinely looks like he cares for this disgusting little creature.
There are moments. You're right. There are moments when Dolph Lundgren, you feel his compassion in that movie. You're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he nailed the superhero part of He-Man. If
Yeah.
that makes sense to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like when
I
think so.
when he grabs Courtney Cox, right? It's like you're safe, sure, but like I will protect you,
Yes.
you know. And like he cares about these characters like every moment, like through. He is worried about his friends. He's worried about his new little
Sure.
Earth buddies, you know, and he throws himself into danger repeatedly to protect these people.
Yes.
I was just upset that he wasn't the main character.
Mhm.
But he kind of
He
is.
seemed like a supporting character.
Well, because he's there to be the brawn and not the brains. Gwildor is there to be the brains. Everybody else is there
But in He-Man, like he's the main character.
right.
Yeah.
Again,
You know what I
because
mean?
that show was called He-Man and the
And
Masters
the
of
Masters
the
of the
Universe.
Universe.
This is-
Yeah.
This
But
is
it's just
why-
called Masters of the Universe, right?
Like
And the heart of this film is Courtney Cox and her boyfriend Kevin. So like it's really hard to shift focus because they are actually our main characters. We're supposed to enjoy this adventure through them.
This is why you need the balance. So Superman, without Clark Kent, there's no Superman, and you can't see what makes either so important. Prince Adam is sort of like the Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Without Prince Adam doing things and getting He-Man kind of into the trouble, it's hard to have just He-Man as the main character. So in the cartoon, you knew Prince Adam was He-Man, so he had dual roles. That's what makes him always like involved in the story, you know?
Yeah. And you would always throw something in there like he'd have to handle something as Prince Adam.
It was so fun. And then Cringer would get scared and Orko would get scared.
Wait, let's be real. Orko was less scared than Cringer. Let's be clear.
Orko, yes. Orko was funny. Orko, you know.
Orko was great.
I was gonna say Orko would try, and it would, and we'd get interesting results. One thing that upset me with Revelations, but I kind of like how they course corrected it in Revelations, was they ignored the episode where Orko tells his origin, and he actually was a powerful wizard, but like his wand broke when he saved Prince Adam when he came to Eternia. And I kind of wish that they had worked that back into the story, but I like how they kind of went with like, oh, well, Orko like never lived up to being the oracle of his world. And then by returning from death, he achieved it, you know?
They killed the poor little guy, you know?
Yeah, but he came back up badass. Let me tell you, I mean, it's not perfect Revelations, but there's many things I love. One is Evil Lynn's arc. Evil Lynn developing a friendship with Orko, I love so much. So much. You know? Yeah. Even when he's fighting her, even when he's using his magic to fight her, he's telling her, is this what you really want? Are you Evil Lynn or just Lynn? Like, I thought it was so cool that Orko wasn't trying to destroy her. He was trying to get her to see the truth. And then when the end, when she's like, nope, you don't have to go back to the afterlife, buddy. I love that so much. I was like, dude, is the one thing you nailed so perfectly in this series.
But that's the thing, like, why couldn't you do Orko? Why'd you do Gwildor? You could have did Orko.
Orko would have been harder.
How's he gonna float around though and stuff? You know.
I guess.
What they could have done was make like maybe show him because they did Superman and he flew.
Maybe not have him fly.
Yeah, but
no
legs. You know what I mean?
Look at how shabby the flying is for Superman 4 by Canon Film.
Show him flying once, and then the rest of the movie just shoot from like the O up. You know, like
All right.
Why exactly didn't they use Orko as Gwildor?
I tried finding out, and I couldn't. I tried.
I think money had a lot to do with
money.
it.
You can. Well, toy companies do like to just invent new characters to sell toys. So
that's basically what it was.
Probably. And I think that got head-warmed.
I will say the two new villains in this movie were quite interesting. I didn't hate them.
I love them.
That one dude is freaking terrifying to look at.
With the hair going back?
Yeah, with the hair like that. The makeup team should be thrilled. They should be thrilled.
Which one are you talking about?
He has a hook hand and the hair going back.
The guy with the big hair.
The big and the jagged.
Oh, the little short guy. Yeah.
He did a great job with him.
Yes.
Yeah. And Blade, he was a new character.
He was weak though. Blade was weak.
Yeah. But Blade was good. Like at least he tried to pose a threat, right?
He
like
did, but
He-Man could take him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. He's He-Man. Like one thrust from my power sword should knock you like a billion miles back.
Yeah, but he didn't have a power sword in this. He just had a sword.
No, he had a power. They mentioned the power sword.
Because
they lock it in the thing.
To keep it from it. That's why when he says I have the power, we get the whole light effect is because the sword is important, just not as important as the cartoon.
So before we get to numbers and stuff, I know it's going to come at the end. No one here hates the movie, right?
I do not. And actually, like I had like an appreciation for it watching because this is like one of the few movies like I think I like a lot because I watched it as a kid. As opposed to like if I went to it like today as like my first time seeing it, I probably wouldn't be like enjoyed it as much.
This was
I
my first
wonder
time
why, because this is like people tend to they opened up to this movie and they really like it now, and I wonder I don't really know why. You know, you think we just give it a pass because we know now as adults that they didn't have the budget, or because it is just a fun movie.
I think
It
it's
is
a
a
fun
fun
movie.
I do.
It's very Flash Gordon too. Like this was a Saturday afternoon movie. If you had WPIX, you had this and Flash Gordon like every other weekend.
Yeah.
This was my first time seeing it because I didn't see it when it came out. For whatever reason, my parents wouldn't take me to see it.
And you're a tough critic, Green Shirt guy. So
I tried.
Yeah.
I try to be fair at least.
That's
I
fine.
enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, coming from. I mean, I didn't watch the cartoon every day, but I did watch it a lot. So there's a lot of things that I had preconceived notions expecting to see in the movie and didn't. But then I bought in. I'm like, okay, they're going a different direction. But it was all for the most part worked. There was some, like I said, the thing with the gun kind of took me out. I was like, all right, that doesn't make any sense. But I guess this He-Man uses a gun. So for the most part, like I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, oh, this is garbage. I can't believe.
I mean, look, in the movie
this week.
Yeah. In the movie theater, he's holding the gun in the movie poster. Like as a kid, I was like, "This is right? Yeah, like look
right there.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah, like it was like I was like, "Oh, this is a little off."
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, the first time you see Skeletor, I'm like, "Ooh," and then I went, "You know, all things being, this isn't that bad."
Yeah.
The mask wasn't actually terrible. It could have been better, but it wasn't awful.
I mean, as soon as he said, "I'm Skeletor," I was like, "Yes."
I just don't know how to get Frank Langella to do this movie.
Right, but like Frank Langella is like has the gravitas to pull this shit off.
Absolutely.
And then when Evelyn was like, "Grayskull is ours," and he's like, "No,
yeah,
mine."
That dude, he went all in. That guy, he probably was like, if I'm gonna sit here and put this damn makeup on for 6 hours, I'm gonna ham it up and go all in, you know.
And Skeletor is the character to do it with, and that's great.
Yeah. Just a couple comments here. Larry says 2 thumbs down on Revelations. 2 thumbs down. I like that. I give it 1 thumb up. And Larry Jack, Will David always thought it was money issue why they didn't do Battle Cat or
definitely money issues involved.
Oh yeah.
He says sorry you talk to text and drive. Don't text and drive, Larry.
No.
We can't promote that on this show.
Definitely not.
We want you safe for a future Transformers show.
Yeah, just play it through the radio and that's good.
So final numbers. I'll give my number. I give it an 8 because I enjoy it and I have a personal love for Masters of the Universe. Phil.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because I still did enjoy this movie, and I'm reading like the He-Man newspaper comic strips right now, and like even it's one you could always like go back to and really enjoy. So, it's a 7, and the movie it's a fun movie. It's like a Flash Gordon, a little bit of a Star Wars knockoff, like a Flash Gordon. Fun thing though. Yeah, so it's a good 7 film.
Nice, Cliff.
And overall, for an adaptation from a cartoon, it's pretty well considering like the cartoon they adapted. Like this could have been so much more worse, and this comes off like, wow, you guys did a pretty decent job with it overall.
Cliff,
it probably deserves less, but I am giving it an 8. I loved it as a kid. I still enjoy it now. Meg Foster kills it as Evelyn as much as Frank Langella is killing it as Skeletor. I love every moment with them. I love what she does to Courtney Cox's character to get the key from her, posing as her mother, and like it's not even a big magical effect, It's like your father and I had to pretend we died. And like, your friends don't understand. Like it was just like I just love that crap, and it just works. And it's like, man, you put the evil in your Evelyn. And of course, let this be a final battle. Like there's so few 80 movies that like pull that crap off.
Greatness.
Green
Shirt guy.
So before I give my review, I just thought of something when you said that. So at the end of the movie, when they send them back and they go through the gate, which the effects, did they send them back in time then, right? 'Cause she's
Correct.
able to-
Yes. Yes.
Gwildor
So
sent them back in
that's-
time.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Because
kind
of
of did it
order,
without her
right?
asking, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't give it an 8. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I really did enjoy it. First time seeing it. Oddly enough, this is a movie I can watch with my kids, unlike some of the other ones we watched the last couple weeks. I think I would go back and watch this again. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
It's not great. It has its drawbacks, but I'm willing to look past them. I enjoyed it. I give
And
it
it had the post-credit scene. Like,
It was
Oh,
right,
yeah.
the first
post-credit
post-credit scene
scene.
ever.
Like,
Ever,
yeah.
I think.
I
But
don't
wait,
know if it
wait.
was
Toy
like
Games,
ever.
what's your number on it?
All right. Before I give it a number, movies that I've seen in my life that were kind of propelled because of toys, even though Ninja Turtles had a graphic novel. So the Ninja Turtles movies, the 90 Ninja Turtle movie is probably the perfect toy then movie. And then G.I. Joe is like the bottom, right? This is past G.I. Joe. So it's past the 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. It's right around a 7. So Turtles for me is a 10, that live action one. G.I. Joe's like a 2. This is right above the midpoint, which is fine. And I have a lot of fun each time I watch it. I forget how much fun it is. I do own it on Blu-ray, and I highly recommend. For what they had budget-wise, I think a 7 is fair.
All right. So it's about an average of 7.5 all around.
Yeah.
What do you guys out there think? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about Masters of the Universe, the greatest movie ever made by
Wow.
Dolph Lundgren.
Featuring Dolph Lundgren.
I don't know. Rocky 4 is pretty good. This is
This is the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, but
By
he
Dolph
doesn't get this
Lundgren.
movie. He
Bring-
doesn't
bring
get
on
this movie
Tubi,
if he
too.
doesn't do Rocky 4.
Yeah, true. And then we were talking about that post-credit scene. That's got to be like the first post-credit scene ever, right?
Yeah.
For like, something like this, one of
Well-
our.
Was supposed to set up something, sure.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna say because Ferris Bueller had that one at the end, right?
Oh, that's
Ferris
right.
Bueller keeps talking to telling you to go home
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's a post-credit
Oh,
scene. But that didn't really
19
set up anything.
1966, The Silencers.
They have
Wow.
a post-credit scene?
That is the first post-credit scene.
Wow.
Very, very interesting.
But
All right. Go ahead, Toy Games.
I know you're signing off soon, but so Master of the Universe, regardless of the movie, it does blend high fantasy with science fiction, and for some reason, no one else has really tried it that much like they did. And the toys, there's something called PowerCon in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally dedicated to toys based off Masters of the Universe. They use the molds from the 80s for like the figures that barely moved. There's people still cranking out figures in that vein, and adults today are still buying the toys. I just opened the newer Castle Grayskull that's way behind me. So something about it, man. I don't know if it's going to last. I won't be here 100 years from now. I don't know if it will last that long, but it's been around for a while. So they did do something right. And hopefully this new movie that eventually is going to come out, hopefully that's, the granddaddy of toy movies. As good as Barbie.
Yeah, let's hope, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad they're taking their time with it.
Yeah.
They're waiting till they can get it done right.
Yeah.
And
Battle Cat.
Battle Cat.
Battle
You can do Battle Cat now, but you gotta do Battle Cat and you gotta do Panther with Skeletor. You gotta
Sure.
have that.
Yeah.
You gotta have that battle. You know what I mean? I want to see Mechaneck. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's so many quirky. It has so many unique.
I want to see
weird
Stinkor.
characters.
Stinkor.
That's the one
I
I
want
want.
I want to smell them in the theater somehow.
Yes. Yeah. It's the
I mean,
4D or
In
whatever.
4DX, you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has such a rich lore. Like Hordak. I know they introduced Hordak with She-Ra, but Hordak's
Yes.
part of the He-Man lore.
Yes.
Like that used to be
Hordak,
Skeletor's master.
Hordak
And,
is touched upon in Revelations.
Yeah.
Shadow Weaver
Which
too.
I
is
would
actually
love,
part of
yeah.
He-Man.
I
Yeah.
would
learned that
love
from
if
the
they
comics.
adopt. I would love if they adopt DC Comics version of She-Ra, where
Yeah.
Hordak raised her to be what, Despera,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
what, right? And then she discovers, oh, you're He-Man's sister. And then on top of that, Tila knew. Tila's like, I remember you, bitch. You know? And it's like, Tila, you knew you kept this from me? She's like, yeah, shut up, Adam. You're one to talk. I love that.
Yeah.
Did any of you watch the cartoon that was relaunched in like 2005?
Yes, that was great.
Now, I have a theory as to why that failed. Do you remember when that show came on?
Yeah.
It came on at like Friday at like midnight or something.
Yeah, it was late at night. It was late at night, yeah.
I don't remember it being midnight.
It was so weird. Like,
no, but it was like 8 p.m. It was like 8 p.m. on a Friday. But I've talked to one of the producers many times, and I did ask him. I said, we know you're going to do Hordak. Were you going to introduce She-Ra? Because this is like a big contention with my friends. And he's like, oh, yeah. Like, we had a whole thing for like, you know, the whole sister, twin sword, all of that. And he's like, and a whole new origin for her. And he's like, and the show tanked.
Yeah. They got a lot of episodes out, though. They got a lot of episodes.
It was, so stupid.
Yeah.
They had like 3 seasons, right?
Yes.
There were like 3
seasons.
Two?
Because I have the DVD and I believe it's 2. And it was gorgeous artwork, really well done. But
they did the origin of Skeletor, how his face became like that. That's just cool.
Yeah,
and
Skeletor
is really He-Man's uncle.
I have that one. That in the He-Man comic issue. I have that one.
Yeah.
By the way, I've noticed that it's been a trend, with the exception of Masters of the Universe Revelations. Everyone uses the "You're He-Man's uncle" thing.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. I kind of like it.
I do like that too. All right, that's our show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. We especially want to thank Toy Games for coming on. Thank you, sir, for coming on and being a part of our show. Hopefully
this is an honor.
Come on again in the future. No, sir. This is an honor for us to have you on our show. Make sure you go check out his YouTube channel.
Thank you. Watch Ninja Turtles for the next movie. It's the new movie's out.
Suggesting, this is my suggestion. I think we should watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh yeah.
For our next movie.
Oh yeah.
Another movie, oddly enough, I've never seen.
You've never seen?
I've never seen that movie.
In honor of Paul Rubens, we should watch.
Tim Burton. Right?
Tim Burton movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That was one of my favorite movies of all time. Great movie. Everybody else, can we agree on that before we give out the homework?
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, excellent. So, Council, next week, your homework is watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's his first movie. We're going to do that in honor of Paul Rubens, who passed away recently.
We're going to have to pay for it unless you own it. It's not streaming.
That's fine. I'll pay the $3.99 to rent it. That's a classic movie right there. I haven't seen it in a long time. Remember, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. All right, so before we get out of here, remember, like and subscribe. If you're on the Facebook, jump over to the YouTubes, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will be back on tomorrow night for the new Keys and Hot Comics of the Week, where we go over all the new comic books that come out this Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. We'll also be continuing our monthly contest of giveaway. We have our giveaways, this one right here, but tune in tomorrow to see how you can win. It's only for this month. Remember also, once again, youngatheartfoundation.com if you want to help the kiddies out, and also Hudson Valley CS Community Services.org if you're looking for a location in your community that you can get some help with whatever that you need. All right, so for myself, for Phil, for Cliff, for Green Shirt Guy, and the Honorable Toy Games, and the rest of the council, we love you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.